From the producer of There's Layers to This comes a new spin-off, Layers with V Dizzle, a solo series diving into the coolest corners of the internet. We're exploring breakthrough tech, digital art, pop culture, space innovation, and more. Streaming live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. It's Valerie, aka V Dizzle, with another episode today of Layers with V Dizzle with myself. Super excited. We are already like halfway past the halfway point of our season. This is episode 6. And let's get this started. If you're new here, welcome. This is a show where we take a deep dive, not just into Web3, crypto, blockchain news, but we also explore some of the coolest corners of the internet with AI, art, space tech, etc. So continuing on this week, I am going to be bringing up my guest co-host, Keegan, who has been helping me to kick off this solo series, which is a spin-off from our original show that I did with Creatress called There's Layers to This. But Keegan is joining me for the next few weeks. I think we only have like a week or two left with him until he has to go back to his regular job. So let's bring up Keegan and welcome him to the stage. Keegan, can you hear me okay? Are you there?
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for continuing to bring me back.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And I think we only have you just for like 1 or 2 more shows. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. I think it's like another 2 weeks maybe. And then, going to be probably back at work during this time frame.
It's a bummer that you'll have to leave our show. Maybe we can have you on as some special guest in some future episodes, but I'm also glad for you to go back and get back into the grind, I guess. Yeah. So let's get the show started with our intros. If you are new here, hello again. My name is Valerie, aka V Dizzle. I started in the NFT Web3 space back in May of 2021. There's a well-known entrepreneur by the name Gary Vee who started an NFT collection called VeeFriends. Keegan was actually the one who told me about Gary Vee and his upcoming launch back in May. And I was a full-time student studying sports medicine. I was doing surgery and rehabilitation for professional athletes. And around that time where I was studying, Keegan said, hey, we should take a look into this new tech that Gary Vee's talking about and maybe get one of his NFT collections. So me being a full-time student, I couldn't afford an Ethereum. Ethereum at that time was over $4,000 to go buy an NFT. But what ended up happening is I entered into one of his giveaways and I won. I won my very first NFT, and Gary Vee sent me the NFT directly into my digital wallet. And I was pretty shocked because almost immediately in its like first few days to first few weeks of launching, I had people offering me bids on the NFT for about $140,000. I pretty much could have sold it for a little bit more than that, but I was just kind of taken aback. Why is this happening? I had so many questions. What are NFTs? What are digital assets? What is crypto? How do you buy crypto, right? I had all these questions. And so that led me to wanting to meet people in person who have either been doing this for a while or starting the journey just like Keegan and I. So I started a local community called San Diego NFT Friends, and we still have been meeting once a month. And so we've been doing that for a few years now, where we'll have free food, drinks. Sometimes we'll feature some speakers or have panels, but it's always a good time. And I really enjoyed uplifting community members, real builders, artists who are truly building the tech here. And so I then went to start my company called Red Rug Edutainment, where I do live events, IRL, all over the US, oftentimes as side events or workshops, to some of the major conferences. And now we've been diving more into media as well. So doing live streaming like our show, Layers with V Dizzle, and partnering up with big companies like Stand with Crypto and ICP and others. So that's a little bit about me, but I'll bring it over to Keegan for his intro.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Yeah, you've had quite the journey. I think anybody who's been here for a few years now has some stories to tell. But yeah, as far as myself goes, I've been an educator for a little over 10 years in the classroom, and then 4 years at the district office, so 14 years collectively as a teacher. And currently, everything I do for Web3 and NFTs is all a hobby. It's on the side. It's all brand building. I host a regular weekly Spaces, 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays. And then I also have my personal brand called Ground Game Strong, which represents showing up, being present, and making an impact. And so I think we're all capable of doing that in some capacity. And so that's why I'm trying to help build that up slowly but surely. Yeah, everything that I do in here is just, I think it's an ongoing journey to learn. There's always something learning that you can learn each week. There's always something new that's coming out. And it just feels like it's sometimes hard to keep track of. And so I really enjoy bringing everybody together each week. Just as yourself, you're always bringing a lot of information together for everybody. And I think it's really helpful for the space in general.
Thank you. Yeah, well, of course, you being an educator in this space, super helpful to have you on to kick off this series because yourself is very knowledgeable. And as a teacher, kind of know people learn in different ways, which I appreciate when you remind me, you cue me, hey, some visuals, or hey, bring this up, maybe read it. So really, really glad to have you on the show. I think let's start the show now with some of the slides. And we're called layers, right? So there's a lot of layers that we're going to dive into with different topics. But we've got some slides for you guys to show. So let's bring it up. Oh, was there an echo? Did you hear that?
A little bit, yeah.
Huh. I wonder why. I don't know. Guys, let us know. I'm testing a new camera and also a mic. So let me know if you're hearing feedback, like an echo or static in the comments. I would really, really appreciate that because I want to make sure that you guys are hearing everything clearly. And for anyone who's going to watch this back, can hear clearly. So yeah, just let us know. But yeah, this is Layers with V Dizzle, Season 1, Episode 6. And let's see what we got. Okay, so we've got the show and tell. Let's kick this show off with the show and tell because Keegan and I went to a few different events up in LA. We were in LA Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In our past shows, you probably have heard us talking about an upcoming event called A New Day One, which was hosted by Coinbase. And we were kind of unsure if we were going to get in or not. Well, we applied. We didn't get into the actual event where they were showcasing their new product, which they have rebranded their Coinbase wallet to Base app. And we'll get more into that. But we were able to go to their after party where a lot of other creatives were there, content creators, and some really, really good people. So after that was Wednesday. Thursday, we went to a chess event. And Friday, we went to a Stand with Crypto event. So I put up together a little crypto vlog, my very first one, that I actually want to show to kind of give you guys an idea of what the event was like. So let me share.
3 events, all in LA. Here's what happened. So Wednesday started at the Base event. Web3 people everywhere. Devs, artists, builders, you name it. I got to connect with some cool folks, check out some activations, and honestly, the branding was on point. Everything was blue, like Base blue, even the drinks. After base, we linked up with some new friends and our girl Rachel and headed to Yamashiro, this beautiful Japanese spot tucked up in the Hollywood Hills. We didn't have a reservation, so no dinner, but the vibe, the view, the whole ambiance, unreal. Definitely coming back with a res next time. Thursday was more low-key. I ended up at a chess tournament where my sister played a few rounds. It reminded me how much strategy and patience matter, whether you're playing chess or building in crypto. Friday wrapped up at B. Wally's Vegan Amazing Food Restaurant for a Stand with Crypto celebration. The Clarity and Genius Act had just passed in the US, so the vibes were high. People played Bitcoin Monopoly, and to grab a drink at the bar window, you had to get some Bitcoin tokens first. Sakari from Hell's Kitchen even made a surprise visit all the way from New York. There was amazing food, prizes, and Board Munchie stocked snacks. Web3 knows how to celebrate wins. Follow me to see where the Web3 journey takes me next.
Keegan said I'm muted. All right. So again, I am trying to try out this new equipment. Thank you. Keegan, you can always unmute and let me know that I'm muted. You don't have to like
Oh,
go
that's
off.
right. I was muted too. Whoops.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that was a little bit about the event. And so let's take a deeper dive into what Base is doing. And I've got another quick video for you guys that I think is worth watching because she talks a little bit about what Base app is and what they're up to. So
wallet app, replacing their wallet app.
Okay, here we go.
So Coinbase now replacing their wallet app with the Base app. So it's a complete rebrand, a full replacement. It's sort of an everything app, they're calling it, which I think we can think of as more of a super app, something comparable to WeChat in China, which you and I were just talking about. This kind of super app idea has been the holy grail of fintech for a very long time. So really interesting to see what Coinbase does with it here. And they're really putting the message out toward content creators because this is going to be a Web3 version of a super app. So they want to get that decentralization angle in there for creators. It is interesting to see what Coinbase does with the decentralized angle because they're trying to get into this new consumer market for people who could benefit from the Web3 economy, but might not necessarily be interested in crypto or crypto trading. So I think that's why they're focusing on creators. They're saying, you're able to control your data and your content in whatever way you want. You do not have to be held to whatever rules the algorithm wants. We'll see.
Okay, so there you go. So for those of you who may have been using Coinbase Wallet, you may have noticed a change in that it is the Base app. And so they're trying to make it the everything app where you can go browse your social media. I've heard that you can go and maybe like a comment on their app, and you can put your settings to where you can go and tip the creators with every like that you give. And so I think they're kind of integrating that with USDC and maybe some other coins. But I think this is really interesting, but I want to give room to Keegan to share any thoughts you have about this rebrand that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a leader in this space, whether you like it or not. Like whether you're for decentralized, systems or centralized system, like there's still someone who's leading the charge. They have a lot of pull, they have a lot of connections, they have a big presence. And so, I think what they're trying to do by incorporating a bigger social media aspect to their application is going to be pretty unique and pretty, I'd say, a very big positive for the space. Whether or not they can actually pull it off, I think it's going to take some time, but conceptually, it seems like they're trying to do it the right way. They're trying to be very mindful and intentional about who's getting access right now, how it's being utilized. They want to work out the kinks. This is something that you and I have been really about and in favor of, is building in public so people can see and be transparent. Now, mind you, I wish we all had access to it, but still, I kind of get that, like, they're doing it as it's not fully done. It's not fully refined. Like in Web 2, when games need to be complete, application need to be complete to be delivered, that's one thing. But in Web 3, we're starting to see this trend where now, finally, we're seeing more companies actually have a product that is not 100% done in its full form factor, and they're actually refining some little pieces with the community, getting feedback and working through the kinks kind of together. And so I think this is a really cool thing. I wish I had access to kind of explore it. I've heard good things. It seems like the timeline is pretty excited about it. And we got to kind of be around that group that was there last week up in Hollywood.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it's a smart move and decision. I think kind of like going out with the old, coming in with the new. And I think where our economy is with a lot of the younger generation, everything is online. No one is consuming things on television, on radio, through a newspaper. It's all through our smartphones. And so I think for Coinbase Wallet to turn into this everything app where you can make payments, where you can browse, your social media, it just makes sense if you're trying to keep a lot of the attention all on you, right? As a big company, it just makes sense where you can go still see your crypto and your NFTs, all your other digital assets, but then also keeping in mind that this new and younger generation, they're all focused on content creation, right? They're consuming content on Twitch, on YouTube, on TikTok, and all these other platforms. And there's a lot of these young kids these days who are going towards that direction as a career, right? Like not a lot of these traditional like 9 to 5, or vocational trade careers are not as popular anymore. And so everything's online. And so I think for Coinbase and Base to really have that at the forefront, to focus on creators, where that's also a big message with like these big social media apps like TikTok. Like when we saw the shutdown, do you know how many of these content creators that this is their livelihood? But when TikTok was threatened to shut down here in the US, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't own my data. They realized they didn't own their data. If the app were to shut down, they lose all of their followers, all of their video content if they didn't back it up and save it. And so I think with what she's saying in the video is that you actually can own your own assets and your own content because it's on a decentralized blockchain level or layer, if you will. So I think that's pretty huge. And yeah, not everybody has access to this just yet, but I did see that Maggie from SheFi, founder and creator of SheFi, she said, we're excited to share that SheFi Org Season 14 will get exclusive first access to Base App this week. Time to create, share, and earn, crypto girlies. So if you're in SheFi, congrats. I am one of their members, so I'm hoping I get some access. But I know we were at the event. We got special access to that. And we got some swag. So I don't know, Keegan, do you have your swag, your base swag next to you that you want to show off?
Yeah, they gave us actually a pretty cool tote bag. Like, not that I need more tote bags. I don't know if I can see. Is it going to show? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this is a pretty good bag. Like I'll definitely use it for groceries for sure. And they gave us a few things like a blue bandana, for everybody in LA that wants to rock a blue bandana and maybe not red. Just kidding. Yeah, so there's some blue bandana they gave us. It's nice material. I don't know. I can't even recall when's the last time I've worn a bandana in my life, to be honest with you. Probably over 10 years ago when I played paintball, just to be frank. So, but I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe it's making a comeback. I don't know.
I think it's a cool little accessory. I saw some girls like put it around their neck. Like I was like, oh, that's like a cute little accessory. So
you know what? I guess like you're right. Maybe like the younger, I say younger crowd, like the people that are going to Coachella, they're going to the festivals, they like do that around their neck. Like, oh yeah, this is the look that they do, right? When they go to like, what is it called?
When they're out in the desert, yeah, like Coachella or something. Yeah, they use it to like cover their nose and their mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, like Miami Ultra and all. Like I guess that's what the concept is. I thought it was for like.
Or if you don't want to be doxxed, you want to cover most of your face and just show your eyes.
I mean, that's only going to take you so far now, I think, in this space, but that's just my opinion. So it just depends, I guess, whatever you're planning to do. So, I mean, I got to give them, like, it's cool. Like, I'll wear it, like, as a head wrap like this, I guess, if I need to. Like, I used to wear bandanas when I played paintball sometimes. But anyway, so, yeah, they gave that. Do you want to show the other stuff, or do you want me to keep going?
Yeah. So I got one, too. My base bag here. And let's see, what do I have? So what is cool is I got not only one but two digital cards, and one of these has $10 loaded on it. The other one, I don't know how much is loaded on here. Maybe it's also $10, but if you went to the base app, you got to get these cards and tap it. I have not claimed them yet, so I'm curious to know how much money is in here. But hey, they're giving away free crypto, free USDC. Why not? Just for showing up. So that's cool. And I love that everyone is getting into these physical cards where it's seamless. You tap your phone and boom, it's right on your phone. And then as you saw in the video, you saw that Keegan and I got to go to the activation, which was a photo booth. And I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna let me zoom in on that, but we got to take some pictures, and it's cute. And at the bottom it says a new day one, the date in LA, and of course their name base up there. And here's what the bracelet looked like. This is what the bracelet for our new day one, and that's a lot I have. I think you're the one who has the handkerchief. I don't know if you have anything else that I don't have in my bag.
I mean, I have two, so I think one is yours. But I guess just to comment again a little bit more, like I will say I felt like they did a really good job with details, and they gave those cards out right in the beginning, like for when you first checked in, and it wasn't on Illuma. You had to get on this list, and then they checked your name, and they gave you those cards, and so I got mine too, and that just goes to further reiterate like what you were saying, or what we had heard word on the street about, like the physical cards being the next kind of like thing that's going to really be normalized. We had talked with with some of our friends in our other up and coming project, and they had talked about how like, the Digital Spenders Club, that physical cards are going to be one of the next kind of bigger things. And this is just kind of reiterating that. Like Burner Wallet, if you guys haven't checked it out, like this is something you need to start like exploring, like, because I think as USDC becomes much more normalized, as it is, and everything goes with that, we're going to see this kind of like become like one of the like staples at like events. Like, so anyway, details was nice. In my opinion, I felt like there was a little too much security, but I know you have an opinion of why that is. I kind of get it, but I just felt like every single corner of every single thing had a lot of security. But, I guess if you're rolling with a lot of crypto, better safe than sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do agree with you on that. Like there was tons, like literally every single corner or hallway you went down, there was security. So you felt safe, but very watched. But that's understandable because Brian Armstrong and these big top players that are building Coinbase app that is like I think it's the number one wallet that most everybody uses when they're first entering into crypto uses. So there's a lot of money. He's worth a lot of money. But something else that I also got too was this t-shirt. It's a little bit too big for me. This is like an XXL, 2XL. But it's gonna be a good sleep shirt for me, and it has a base on the back. You can see. You can kind of see that. But yeah, it's good material. But yeah, besides that though, besides just having the event, they also had some other things that they were doing to get the word out about their new rebrand. So one of the things is they had not only the after party that Keegan and I went to, but Meme House LA hosted their own base new day one after party. So they were doing 24-hour live streams. They were doing competitive coin trading. I guess they had like Nobu Sushi, which is a really expensive restaurant that they got sushi from. So Coinbase was making a presence there. And then elsewhere, one of their bigger things is that they partnered with Erewhon. Erewhon is a high-end convenience store that is in LA, and they partnered with them to make a special blue juice. I think this was like blueberry flavored or something. So they said, we made a juice with Erewhon, and it's free when you download the Base app. Create, hydrate, earn in store July 17th. So just for downloading the Base app, you could go to any of these locations and get a free juice. So some of the locations they were at was at the Grove, Manhattan Beach, Beverly Hills, and Studio City. And so here's a cool little video showcasing them being boots on the ground, as Keegan would say. Their ground game was strong at the Erewhon store. And here you go. So they had a little booth and showing people how to get on the app and giving away their base. So I also know that they were giving away base juice at the event we were at. Unfortunately, we showed up a little late, so I didn't get to try it. I don't know, Keegan, did you see it or get to try it at all? Because I didn't.
I didn't see it when we were there.
Yeah, but hopefully if we go back to LA here soon, then maybe I can try it, and I'll let you guys know how it is. But anything healthy, anything juice-wise sounds good to me, especially if it's blueberry flavored. So that's what's new and happening with Coinbase Wallet rebranding to the Base app. But it's not just that. Brian Armstrong has also been boots on the ground, not just with the rebrand, but also heavily involved with helping with crypto policy with the Senate, the House, and all our lawmakers here in the U.S. And so once these populate, hopefully they will. But we had Brian Armstrong that I had shared on my previous show that he was on the board, or I don't know if I should say the board, I should say like maybe the panel. He was on a panel with other of these other people who are part of larger institutions in the crypto space. And he was talking to Cynthia Loomis, who is one of the representatives. She's a Senate, and she was listening to Brian and the others talk about why it's important to have regulations for stablecoin, for entrepreneurs, for institutions and companies who are looking to hold and acquire and buy and trade and sell crypto. So here we have a tweet from Watch Guru who shared a quote by Brian Armstrong saying that the Genius Act, so let's see what they say. He says, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says signing the Genius Act into law will be the official start of the financial revolution in the US. And so with that being said, we did have this upcoming news that the House did pass all of the laws that were on the table, all the bills. So U.S. House passes all three major Bitcoin and crypto bills, the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, and the Anti-CBDC Act. So regulatory clarity is here. So this is fantastic. I know they were kind of going back and forth with the House. Not sure what was going to happen there, but yeah. So we did have here Brian Armstrong going to the White House to celebrate once Trump did sign those acts. So he says, heading to the White House to see the Genius Act become law, the official start of the financial revolution in the US. Thanks to all who helped us take this huge step for crypto. So there he is. So you can only imagine why there was tons of security at the event, because he literally went from the event right over to Washington, D.C. to go see Trump sign this. So there was a photo op. He was there. So just super cool how like just take a step back and it's like, wow, Keegan and I were there. We are seeing history in the making. And on top of that, Brian Armstrong also announced this, where they said the wait is over. Perpetual futures have arrived in the US. No monthly expirations, trade with up to 10 times leverage, fee as low as 0.02%. Now you can trade perpetual style futures on Coinbase Financial Markets, a secure and CFTC regulated platform. So there you go. There you have it. They are starting to make more moves now that they can be protected by the law, that it's totally okay. And then lastly, if that wasn't enough, they're also releasing a card. So this comes from Chamath, who says, Coinbase sent me one of the rare commemorative Satoshi Nakamoto Coinbase One cards, only one of 21. Excited to get my own in the fall, which comes with 4% back via Bitcoin. Long live BTC. Thank you, Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, and Immunib. So there you go. Let's see. There we go. So this is their Coinbase One card that they have. I think it's going to be similar to, at least it sounds similar to the MetaMask card that has been going around. But yeah, I'll stop there and see if Keegan, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, it's kind of it's really unique to be around the groups and individuals that are really helping to shape the narrative and actually help steer like guidance and actual policy and things that are really going to impact the United States. Like that's not something you get to do all the time. Like I know last year we also felt that when we went to Bitcoin Nashville, the event last year, and at least that's how I felt about it. Like you could kind of see like there's some like names that are really in the mix and in the rooms and in the dialogue of where laws are being shaped and things that are going to affect from the top down about how certain tech will be implemented and how it will be utilized and how that will in turn affect us in the day to day. And so, yeah, this is another example. I mean, if you think about in like another 6 months to, 10, 12 months, like who knows, like the Base app could be like a big player in the social media aspect because the way it's structured, like giving back to the people for their content, for the creation. And I saw Jesse, who's like one of the main lead guys that's leading that in an interview the other day. And he talked about how like your data has always mattered. And it's always been valuable. And it's always been something, that has value. And you just never got to see it because of the way that things are structured. So, I mean, data is valuable to all these social media companies, but for someone to say it and to start seeing it like kind of play out, like if we're really going to like get something back in this form factor because crypto rails are going to make that possible and they're going to be the ones to do it, like great. Like I hope that becomes normalized in all of them, in all the social media apps. But I don't think they're going to actually, other social media apps are going to actually do that until they're forced to do it. Like in terms of like, oh, we're losing market share. Like my example will be, and then we can kind of like continue, is that like Tesla really pushed the issue for electric vehicles. It wasn't until they really started to gain traction over year after year after year, where it's like you had big competitors actually have to like pay attention to like, okay, I got to respect what they're doing now. And they're going to start capitalizing more and more. If we don't put our hat in the ring and start producing electric vehicles. More specifically in reference to Ford, Toyota, to Honda, to like all these groups like that did not have any stake in the game for electric vehicles because they didn't want to shoot themselves in their foot. Their bread and butter and their money comes from their other vehicles that are run on gasoline. So why would they want to do electric vehicles? It wasn't until they felt threatened and there was in my opinion, there was a bigger push from Tesla to push EVs. And then that's when it's like, all right, now we'll start gradually putting some sprinkles in here and there, but we're not going to take too much away. And so I could see that kind of like playing out like this with all the social platforms from X to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok, where you start to see little sprinkles of the crypto elements in it. And I think that if Coinbase is going to be like, let's say from the ground up, like if they can lead the charge, I'm sure people are going to use it. I'm sure people are going to like jump on.
Definitely. Minty Fresh is in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, Minty Fresh. He says Base is onto something, ... And definitely, I think Base is definitely seeing the writing on the wall. And to your point, Keegan, with like Tesla, coming in with the electric vehicles, and then these other car companies followed shortly after. I think, yes, we will probably see that with other apps also doing the same. And I think it really takes a founder or CEO to not only see the writing on the wall, like, okay, we're trending that way, where these younger generations, everything has to be on the phone, on the smartphone, from ordering your goods and your groceries to now like buying crypto and using crypto like on social media apps, right? So it really takes a founder or CEO to see the writing on the wall, recognize the trend, and then be disruptive. Take that chance and that risk to go and do it. And I think the only thing that was holding Coinbase back was those regulations. And so now with the US signing those into the law, with stablecoin regulation and more clarity for entrepreneurs, we're just going to see more of this. So that's really, really exciting. And I
don't think that's a coincidence, right? Yeah, shout out to Minty, who's always supportive. And anybody who's here, like, go ahead and give us a retweet, a like, and subscribe to Valerie's channel on YouTube. But yeah, I was just gonna say you're spot on. I think like it's no coincidence that these things are overlapping, kind of like in real time, like side by side. Those couple legislative bills got passed, boom, another within a few days. Now Base, a new day one. But like it's no coincidence, in my opinion, that this stuff is happening in parallel, very close to each other, so that things are going to start rolling out in a different way.
Exactly. And something else to keep a lookout for, this is our crypto policy layer now. And so there has been a bill introduced in Congress requiring lenders to consider crypto holdings when applying for mortgage. And so I made sure to do the due diligence and fact check that just to make sure. And here you have it. If you go to congress.gov, you can see the bill right here. It's called HR 4374. And so this is a legit thing. And we can also look at Google and use the AI to give us an overview of what's happening there, if it will open. Okay, it's not letting me click this link for some reason. But either way, basically what this is saying is that it's going to help people, possibly even people who have crypto and digital assets, to be considered for loans when it comes to owning a home and buying a home. So that will open it up for people, different diversities and minorities who felt like they couldn't even own a home for different reasons. Maybe it's credit or what assets they may or may not own. So really, really great. And we'll keep you guys updated. I see Minty Fresh. Okay, maybe he posted a status. There's something he wants us to check out. Keegan, are you able to go check out his page to see what he may have been tweeting about? I think if I have to speculate, it's probably going to be an overview of the bill right now, because he's been doing a really, really good job about summarizing and making it super digestible for people to know what's going on with these bills. So shout out to you again, Minty. Oh, he's laughing. He's laughing. Am I right or am I wrong? Maybe it's something completely different.
I'm trying to see. Like, you'd have to post. Oh wait.
It's in the comments. I can't like click it for some reason. But if you go on Twitter, you might be able to see.
Yeah, I can't see. Like, you'd have to like put it in the chat maybe.
Yeah, I can't. Like, I'm not able, like, the platform I'm using, which is StreamYard, I see his comment pop up and I'm able to post it on the screen, but I'm unable to click the link directly from the platform, nor am I able to like highlight it and put it in the chat for you, Keegan, unfortunately. So is it a recent tweet? I mean, if you look up that number 19477, you might be able to find it. But if not, we'll take a look at it and we can possibly also share it on the next show too, because this is this is occurring in the now with the news anyways. So
no, wait, I see it now. It says DGen's applying for a home loan with Bitcoin, and it's a scene.
Okay. Share the screen so we can pull it up.
Okay, let me see. It's actually kind of funny.
DGens. Let's see what our DGen's gonna do. Are you able to pull it up?
Yeah, give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, you seeing it? All right, can you see? No?
Oh wait, hey, you got rid of it.
Was it working?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
Try again. DGen's applying for home loan with Bitcoin.
Okay, there we go. Can you blow up the video? I can't really see it.
And action. And action.
I mean, that's kind of funny. I like that. Okay, Minty. It's on it.
I was expecting like this like formal like thread, like, oh, he's probably gone into, like, okay, what this bill is about, because he's done that before. But that's so funny. He says, love this interactiveness. There you go. Yeah, real time. We're live. We're live on YouTube and Abstract and X. It's a live show happening right now. All right, let's get on to the next news. Keegan, can you mute? I think there's some feedback going on when I speak, when I speak.
Okay, let me turn it down. Yeah.
No, I need you to mute because thank you. All right. Okay, so here we are in the Ethereum layer. So just to give you an idea of what's happening on Ethereum, we talked about on our last show about how there's a good idea that because Bitcoin has been going up, right, it hit an all-time high of 123,000, that when that happens, people are going to take some profits and look at some alternative coins, aka altcoins. And the biggest other crypto after Bitcoin is Ethereum. And so there are these signs that may be showing that this is happening, right? So to give you guys some background, Ethereum had an all-time high back in November 15, 2021, which was 4 years ago, and the all-time high is $4,891.70. I looked at what the performative high was, which was a day ago, yesterday, on July 21st, 2025, and it had reached to $3,843.85. So you can kind of see we're a little $1,000 shy there of going back to all-time highs. And if you're wondering why, what is happening, here are all these headlines that was coming out. So we had President Trump's World Liberty Financial buys $1,531 worth of ETH, or sorry, 1,531 ETH worth $4.93 million. And then we had more news come out, which publicly traded SharpLink Gaming, which we talked about also last week, buys another. They were already buying ETH, right? But they bought another 9,424.69. Nice. We like the 0.69 ETH worth $32 million. We already know that SharpLink Gaming has more ETH than the Ethereum Foundation itself. So we have talked about like they're trying to be the next MicroStrategy of Bitcoin. They're trying to be that of the Ethereum. And then if that's not enough news for you, we had BlackRock who bought 27,158.86 ETH worth $100 million. And then we had SEC Chair Paul Atkins declare ETH is not a security, which is bullish for us. We don't want it to be a security because if it was deemed a security, you have to have special permission to buy assets that are considered security. You have to have special permissions from the SEC. So if they're saying it's not a security, then that opens it up for regular people like you and I and anyone else around the world. Well, specifically the US, since we're talking about the SEC, but specifically that we can go and buy ETH without any issues. So that is super bullish. And so that is just, not financial advice, but maybe take a look at Ethereum and see what's going on there, because we're getting close to that all-time high from 4 years ago, and we may surpass that very soon. But don't wait. Don't wait till last minute, But yeah, and anything on that real quick, Keegan, before I move on to the Pengu layer, because we got 5 layers of Pengu this episode. But I'll give you a moment here if you want to say anything about Ethereum. Oh, you got to unmute.
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum, it's been continuing to just rally like over these past 2 weeks at like an unprecedented rate. I mean, I think like this just on Monday morning, like it really felt different. Those of us that were spending time on Sunday started to kind of see it. Like, and I'll talk about it more on my show. Like, I'm sure some of you saw like the CryptoPunks being swept, the Chrome Squigglies being swept, like a chunk, like people are starting to spend money from the ETH ecosystem. And, it's no surprise that we're starting to see more stuff about that. Like all the, like you just shared the slide, all these people commenting, giving their 2 cents. Oh, Ethereum this, Ethereum this, Ethereum this. Mind you, it's not at the all-time high, but I definitely remember when I came into this space and that shit was over $4,500. I'm like, okay, this is a big deal. And then to see it go down to where it was, and then now to slowly, gradually each week go up another 100, go up another 100. Like, I think we're going to see all-time highs by the end of the year. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with comments like that now. Like, oh, it's not a security. It's like that was an ongoing debate for over two freaking years. And then just to be all like casual about it. Oh, yeah, it's not a security. Like, what? So it's like, but a lot of us have already been thinking and feeling that. But now to just have it come out like that, it's like, all right, well, now we don't need to worry, at least for businesses and companies and different like groups. For individuals, like I only care to a certain extent, but for individuals and groups and like platforms and different entities that want to hold it and have it on the books and have it, they want to know, what is this? Where is it at? Where do we stand? And like, what's the guidance? We're starting to get guidance. We're starting to get clarity. We're starting to get like structures and guardrails. So it's only going to pick up more momentum. So I'm here for it.
Speaking of things that are picking up more and more momentum, is Pengu, Pudgy Penguins, guys. This NFT, okay? I think this is the 6th week in a row we have had talked about Pudgy Penguins. The news does not stop, and I I have 5 different slides, okay? 5 layers deep of what's going on in the Pudgy Penguin ecosystem. So let's try to get through this because we're already coming up on an hour of the show here. So we've got some news to share. But here's some of the posts. So Pengu surpasses 181 billion collective views and 91 billion GIF views across platforms. So I know a lot of normies now, and we say normies, people who are not in crypto as much, but they probably recognize the Penguin IP because they've been using GIFs. A lot of people use GIFs in their everyday conversations and whatnot. So they've been getting up there with those views. So congrats to Penguins. I think I'm going to be saying congrats a lot in this episode. In other news, changing the PFP saga continues with Jarritos. They had sported their Jarritos penguin, saying they've been eating a lot of tacos lately, feeling kind of pudgy. Yes. And if that's not enough news, we've also got their YouTube channel, okay? If you didn't know, Pudgy Penguins has a YouTube channel called Kind Pengu, and they just hit 920,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. Their next stop is 100,000, or sorry, 100 million subscribers. But yeah, if you don't know about Kind Pengu, I definitely recommend checking it out because they are doing some really, really great things, finding streamers like on Twitch who have 0 views and going on, and the account Pudgy Penguins is going on there and gifting these streamers with a lot of money in crypto and Pengu and fiat and making their day and just doing kind things out there. And so also in news is that Pudgy Penguins may be teasing a new collaboration with Solana. So Solana is coming out with the first handheld gaming device on their chain, the PSG-1. And I know that they have some limited edition game hardware that they've done collabs with others. So will we see one with Pudgy? Is this the prototype here? I don't know, but I hope they do. It looks good. And then here's the peak of what's going on in Japan. So just knew that Pudgy Penguins made it to Japan. This is at the infamous Don Quixote. Pengu world domination for real. So when 7-Eleven and other konbinis, and I just learned this because I'm taking Japanese lessons on Duolingo, but konbini is the Japanese word for convenience stores. And 7-Eleven is one of the major ones. So is Don Quixote. And then there you go. Here are the little pudgy toys that you can go and see at their local convenience store. So super cool. And then let's see, any comments on that? Let me slow down here because that was a lot already. We got more layers to go through. But anything on that, Keegan?
You know, Pudgies are just continuing to do what Pudgy does, which is consistently put stuff out there and consistently have a presence of eyes, ears, and attention. They're doing a great job of it. And on top of that, like also too, just to iterate, like shout out to Solana. Solana's over $200 now for one Sol. And so Pengu's on Solana. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of movement happening.
Yes, there is a lot of momentum and movement happening, so much so that my slides cannot keep up and they're delaying posting up the post, but here they are. Let's check out this headline here. And so what do we have here? All right, it says, wait, WTF, Pengu is on my browser as well. So they're everywhere. They're on browsers. This, I believe, is on the Brave browser, which is very popular among crypto users and people who just appreciate privacy. And then we've got just in 3 wallets from Korean exchanges Bithumb and Upbit by 945 million Pengu, worth 32 million in a week. They now hold 2.92 billion worth, which is 96.73 million. I don't know. I was like, do I need to fact check this? Is that possible? And then I just scroll down and I see the official account saying Pengu Asia is revealing their power level. So and here's Lil Pudgy, unbelievable. Lorenzo, like I was like, okay, this is probably credible then. I was like, that's insane. Asia, Japan, Korea, they know something we don't. I don't know, but they know that Pudgy's something. Pudgy's something. And then here's just another thing that I had already mentioned, that Pengu is now available in Don Quixote, the largest convenience store in all of Japan. Okay, so I was wrong. It's not 7-Eleven. I thought 7-Eleven was the largest, but it is Don Quixote. So, Jesus, it just doesn't stop. The Pengu doesn't stop. And also, NFTs are best kept cold, says Burko. And Burko is the community lead for Pudgy Penguins. Okay, he says cold storage, soulbound token coming. So there's a little alpha for you there. If you didn't know, is that it looks like they're gonna have a soulbound token that you can take on cold storage. And someone says, how do I get one? So he says, stay tuned. Stay tuned. So I want a soulbound NFT. I don't know. Keegan, what about you?
I mean, full discretion, I'm not holding a Pudgy Penguin or a Lil Pudgy, unfortunately. I do have some Pengu, and, you know, it continues to just go up. It's over a 2 billion market cap now. Like, I've really been starting to just watch some tokens just to see, not financial advice, but just to kind of like see, keep a pulse, and kind of like see, again, like what Valerie said, like the momentum, like where's the attention, where's the energy, are people like getting in and wanting to support? Like I'm seeing just a lot of movement with Soul, with Pengu, and with Rect. Like these tokens, like in 6 months, I would suspect, and again, also perpetrated on Ethereum continuing to do what it's doing. Like I think we're just gonna we're in the bull run. This is the beginnings of a bull run. And I don't usually say bull, bear. I usually don't spout those terms that often. I can see it though. Like I can feel it, and it's starting. And if it's gonna be anything like what 2021 is, like whatever your day-to-day job is, you better start saving some money on the side so you can like have some money to play with. Like because that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, what can I do like to start saving a little cash to throw around? Because it sucks when you feel like sidelined and you can't really participate that much. Mind you, on the same token, when there is this much energy and momentum and money flowing through, there is going to be opportunities for giveaways, participations, and like raffle. Like you will start to see that too. You will see that. So it will be, in my opinion, positive all around. On top of the fact Bitcoin has been leading the charge, really, in my opinion. So, you know, it's just we're starting to see these waves of momentum come. And I think like as long as we're paying attention, people are showing up. People are subscribing to Layers with V Dizzle. People are showing up to 10K Teaching Tuesdays. We're all going to help each other keep a pulse on what's actually happening, because our algorithms are all different. And sometimes we miss things. Sometimes there's stuff in Abstract. Sometimes there's stuff in Solana. Sometimes there's stuff in ETH. Sometimes there's stuff in Ordinals. Sometimes there's stuff in Rune. Sometimes there's stuff in Pudgy. Like,
right.
Share it all, you know?
Yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, with my show, by the way, this week, again, second week in a row, I can't share things about what's happening in AI or space tech and other news because there's just so much to get through in Web3. And that's like, that starts feeling like a bull there. It's like, okay, I don't have enough time to share other news because there's so much to keep track of in Web3. And like I said, there's a lot to keep track of with Pengu. And so here's some more news with Pengu. Pengu is now live and tradable on Tokero Exchange, one of the largest exchanges in Romania. What the heck, man? Korea, Japan, now Romania? Where is Pudgy Penguin not at? Are they in the Antarctica? I feel like they would be. Can
I also just add this too, just because like you pointed this out? Like I saw the interview clip of Luca, who's leading the charge with Pudgy.
Oh, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
Save it. Save it. Let's get through some of this.
Okay.
All right. So here's Luca saying PSA official exclusive at this year's Comic-Con. If you didn't know, they're going to be at Comic-Con, so don't miss out. The penguins are everywhere. That is just what I was saying. I was like, where are they not? They literally are everywhere. So this looks awesome. Cool as cracked ice. That is so cool. All right, let's see what else. All right, here we go. Here's what you're talking about, Keegan. Here's one of the interviews that Luca was doing. So Luca Nuts teases about the next airdrop. He says, "I'm not going to let you do this thing where you can buy a penguin one day before the airdrop and get it. I'm going to make sure for this next one, I'm really rewarding my core community. We're going to learn from all the mistakes on the Pengu one." So let's listen to this clip.
I'm not going to let you do this thing where you can buy my penguin one day before the airdrop and get the thing. I'm not doing that this time. And I'm going to make sure that for this next one, I'm really hyper focusing on my core nucleus, my power users, my top 1%, 2%, my Hyperliquid top 1%, 2%, and making sure that it goes to those guys and the people who are buying the dips. And, I wanted to be a lot more methodical with the data, but like, I respect the person buying now, not the person who's buying, 2 days before TGE. That person I don't care about, right? I care about the person who's buying the dips now. And I'm recording all this data, and you're seeing we're giving out soul bounds. We're getting really methodical with this because we're gonna learn from all of the mistakes on the Pengu one. I'm not gonna let you do this thing where you can buy my penguin
there you go.
one day before the airdrop.
That is a founder or CEO, I should say, CEO. Who knows the data, what he's looking at, and is being very methodical and thoughtful of it. But go ahead, Keegan. I know you wanted to comment on some of the interviews he's done.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this whole interview session from When Shift Happens. I feel sad because I don't even know the main host's name. I'm so sorry, but I'm shouting out the show. But I did watch it, and he did a good job of interviewing him. And yeah, the TGE for Abstract is supposed to happen by the end of the year, is what Luca kind of one of the many things they touch on. But he also said that, if things don't feel right and things aren't adding up properly where they need to be in terms of like the momentum, the market share, like if things aren't dialed in the way that he wants, then, or the team wants, they're not going to do it. So although like he's publicly said like, oh yeah, that's going to happen this year in Q4, we're not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if they just say, yeah, we're holding off. We're not going to do it now. So it's kind of like a pending kind of thing. But separate from this interview, I did see in a clip that I think Razmir did the interview with him just the other day. And Luca said that Pudgy Penguins revenue is 50 to 60 million, is my understanding, in revenue. That's insane. If that's true, and correct me if I'm wrong, audience, if anybody's there, he might have said 5 or 6 million, but I'm pretty sure it was like 50 or 60 million in revenue. If that's the case, from where they started the few years to where they're at now, that's like pretty big kudos and pretty big respect. And so when you tie in, like, if that's like what the like level is that like we're dealing, or where they're at, when you see like 2 billion market cap of Pengu as a token, like this is like a much bigger thing that's actually playing out. Like you just said, there's so many slides, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's like, you can't deny when like winners are winning, like whether or not you're a hater or not. Like if they're making moves and they have awareness and people are talking about them, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job about bringing IP and awareness to the brand.
Something, speaking of which, and you can't hate on this, and bringing the IP and awareness, Keegan, did you see this? Pudgy Penguins is partnering with Pez. I love Pez so much. If you go on Amazon, you can actually find a Bitcoin times Pez dispenser. But so nostalgic, and I just love. That's one of the things that they're doing to bring brand awareness. Other things that they're doing, check this out. So here we have in China, they were on this building. Give me a second. All right. So wait, why did this pop up? I didn't click that. Let's go back. Let's click it again. Okay, let's just share it from here. So Pudgy Penguins was on this tower, and you may be wondering, where is that? So I looked it up, and it's the Aurora Plaza. It's a 185-meter high skyscraper in the Pudong Financial District, Lujiazui of Shanghai, China. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but either way, Pudgy's in China. They have a very, very big presence out there in Asia. And I know they have a really, really healthy meetup group that meets IRL. And so here we go. We have something from CoinGecko saying Pudgy Penguins is now the second highest NFT by market cap. The first is CryptoPunks. We can see that at the time of the screenshot, 16.60 ETH is their floor, which is $62,463. And to be honest, that's kind of low right now. They're going to go much, much, much higher. We've got another tweet out here from Cook saying Pengu hit 2.5 billion with the craziest chart ever. Oh my God, WTF. They believe Pengu's going to flip Pepe, which is another meme coin, but on Ethereum. And I figured we should look at the, why don't we look at the coin market cap? Because I was kind of curious what their all-time high is and where they're going. And for whatever reason, it's not letting me click. I don't know if it's because I'm live streaming, because that happened actually last show. But basically, when I checked, the all-time high for one Pengu was 5 cents, 0.05.
I think it's at 4 cents right now.
It is at 4 cents. That's what I was about to say. So all-time high is 5 cents, and right now we're at 4 cents. So we're almost back to the all-time high. Just like how we're almost back to the all-time high for Ethereum, we're now almost back to the all-time high for a meme coin, though. This is insane. So they just have so much more momentum, and they're doing so much news after news all around the world, really global. Like, this is something I would put my money into, and I have. Full transparency, I have Pengu, because that's the only thing that I can afford at 4 cents. Why not? Not financial advice, but why not? Why not take a look? If you have a few dollars, $10, I don't know, just whatever you can do. But
how much is a little Pudgy now? Do you know?
No, but if you want to look it up, we can share the screen. We're finally in the final layer of Pengu, 5 layers deep. This layer is. But here we go. Here's some other news. Okay, so we know that they've been pretty active on GIFs, but guess what? They've also been active on Instagram, and they just hit 1.9 million followers. Okay, only 100,000 more till 2 million. 2 million followers on their Instagram. Like, that's really, like, almost not fathomable for me to imagine 2 million individuals. That's crazy. And again, their tokens at 4 cents right now. That sounds like a steal. And again, Pudgy Penguins is coming to San Diego Comic-Con 2025. We're thrilled to return to the USA's largest pop culture event for our 3rd year and continue to represent all of crypto. Make sure to stop by our booth for exclusive merch and giveaways. So, wow, they are back for a 3rd, and they're the only NFT project to be doing that I know of. There's been some other NFT projects at Comic-Con. I won't say names, but you can go look it up. But Pudgy Penguins has continued to show up and at one of the largest comic expos conferences in the world. So yeah, Keegan and I will be going to their event. They're having an after party this Friday, and I'll share more details at the end of our show in case you might be in town and want to go. But like I was mentioning, they have a pretty big presence in Asia. They're also in Malaysia. Okay, and look at this cool event that they freaking did. And I'm so jealous. The yoga session, fully Pengu branded. There's the freaking Pengu mascot. I'm not gonna lie, I am so jealous. Like, I wish I was a like NFT holder so bad, so bad. But I'm so happy for everyone who is, and this just means that like they're helping amplify our digital asset space with NFTs and meme coins and crypto. And so something else that they're also involved in is TCG cards. Okay, so here's the first ever Arctic foil from Legend of the Lils. So look at that.
And
These look so good. These look so fun. And I mean, these are adults getting excited about this, by the way. Like, just imagine when these little kids get their hands on these cards and just like how aesthetically pleasing it looks, how fun it looks. Like, this is just IP that is loved by everyone. Adults, teenagers, and kids. Like, they're just doing all the right things. And that ends our 5 layers of the Pengus. Keegan, and any final comments on the Pengu as we move on to other news? Before we move on to other news.
I mean, 2 years ago, I remember me and Bobby Son were talking about Lil Pudgy's buying one at 0.3 when we were at Comic-Con at the time. And yeah, we didn't unfortunately.
Oh, that hurts. At 0.3 ETH? Jeez, what a steal. Lil Pudgy.
I mean, again, like, yeah, like you said, I'm really happy for everybody that is involved in the community. Like, I'm holding the Pengu, which is cool, but you know, I think one of the really cool, unique things is that there are things for the community members to submit for to utilize the IP of the penguin that they have, so that they can possibly get it onto a card, get it onto a toy, like, and who knows what other stuff they have in the pipeline. But I think creating that conduit so you can have that kind of engagement, like, that's really unique and special. And I think that, you know, if they're going to be like the ones that onboard a lot of new people, or at least bring crypto curious people to like explore, in my opinion, it's a soft touch point. It looks like it's a friendly character. It looks like entertaining, like, and then you add in all the gifts numbers, you add in the Instagram numbers, you add in these in real life events where you can feel it. Like, when you create, in my opinion, when you create a brand, a product, the NFT project, like, if it feels good and it feels cool, people are going to talk about it naturally, organically, and they're going to share it. Like, this is not because, oh, I want to get my my Yaps and my Cato points or my social. Like, people will naturally talk and share about stuff that they resonate with. And if it has those elements of cool, of fun, and like really like just like a really good time, we're naturally going to talk about stuff. And so I think that they have that unlocked down really well. And I think they're seeing the fruits of the labor come to fruition now. And I think it's great. I think it's great for the space. I think a lot of the space is going to win because of that. You know, for them to ring the bell on the NASDAQ, like, you got to give them credit where credit's due. Like, I don't care what community you are. Like, who else is going to be, if your community's not doing it, who else is doing it? Like, I'm glad somebody is, you know, that they managed to navigate and connect dots to talk to the right people and get in the right place in order to be positioned well. Like, not every, and again, on top of it, not everybody is even positioned to even have a seat at those tables. So the fact that they've been able to navigate slowly but surely, step by step, Comic-Con, cards, like TCG, like, these are all different layers that are adding and stacking up on top of each other. That the cards are totally underrated. Totally underrated. We talked about this at the event when we were talking to Melly.
We'll talk more. Hold your commentary on the cards, because we're gonna talk more about it when we go back to the VeeFriends. We're gonna talk about VeeFriends. So.
All right, then let's go to that. Those are billion-dollar industries, and like, those are like low-key not sneaky, but just like slow little touch points that I think are really underrated.
Oof. Yeah, Pudgy's unstoppable. Lorenzo, Luca, the whole team, they know what they're doing. Congrats to the community. You know what? We're kind of part of the community. We are, because we hold the Pengu token. So that is, you know, get in now if you can, if you want, 4 cents, because they're little Pudgies and they're NFT Pudgy penguins out of my reach. So I just, Love them. Let's go. But let's talk about some fun Web3 quick headlines here that I think are notable to look at and share. So here we go. We have $4 trillion. Wall Street giant JP Morgan is exploring loans backed by clients' Bitcoin and crypto holdings. Okay. Pretty big here. In other news, we got Grok. Did you guys know Grok, the Twitter X's AI, their account was momentarily suspended. Grok was kind of on a rampage. I don't know if you guys saw that, but saying not so nice things and kind of getting crazy. So they had to get a hold on that. But I think they fixed it. Grok is back online, answering all of your questions. And then we got some speculation here. Let me blow this up, because if we, how much more can we talk about penguins? Well, here we go. Someone's speculating, saying, wait. There's a chance that Luca Nets acquired OpenSea, because there was this interview, as Keegan mentioned, with Rasmer, and Rasmer asked Luca Nets if they acquired OpenSea, and Luca says, "We acquired a company in December." That's all I'm going to speak on. So what the heck, man? What the heck? Who knows? I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But also in other news, Trump Media buys $2 billion worth of Bitcoin for its treasury. That's a big deal. Also with Trump Media, it's now the 5th largest corporate Bitcoin treasury, with 18.43 Bitcoin. And you can see here how it compares to things like MicroStrategy, Mara Holdings, XXI, and Riot Platforms with their Bitcoin treasury. So they're catching up. Something else that's happening that's cool with related to Bitcoin is this woman here, Isa. She says, over the weekend, I got the keys to the Bitcoin Cafe. In exactly a month, we will be opening the doors. So August 21st. Obviously, I am in over my head. We still have to plan the menu, get the Bitcoin mugs, paint the walls, get chairs and tables, hire a barista, get coffee machines, install a Bitcoin bookshelf, and the list goes on and on. So this is really exciting. So basically, there's a cafe opening up here, and it's called Isla Bitcoin. And this is in Mexico on the island of Isla Mujeres, which is just a short boat ride from not Cancun. Yeah, Cancun. Yes, from Cancun. I was going to say Cabo San Lucas. But yeah, it's a short boat ride. And I've been to Isla Mujeres. And I think it's awesome that Bitcoin is going to have a presence there because it's actually kind of like a poor town. A lot of tourists do visit it, but the actual locals, they're very poor. So hopefully this gives them some education in a fun way with, some coffee and some pastries and who knows what else that they'll have there. But I think that's awesome. And enough about Bitcoin, because let's take a look at Ethereum. Here's some more speculation going on with Vitalik has a girlfriend now, east to 10,000. So people are speculating, is he in a relationship? If he is, congrats. And hopefully that pumps our bags. And then lastly, in our quick Web3 headlines is, here we go, from the Global Government Affairs. In a victory for transparency and free speech, the DC Circuit Court of Appeals has unanimously ruled in X's favor to limit the U.S. government's ability to issue gag orders. These gag orders prevent X from notifying the public when it receives government search warrants and subpoenas. Last year, X received a subpoena from the federal government demanding the personal information of 2 former FBI agents, Kyle Seraphin and Garrett O'Doyle. This was accompanied by a gag order requiring X to keep the subpoena secret. Seraphin and O'Doyle were whistleblowers who had disclosed to Congress that the FBI was improperly targeting certain politically disfavored groups. Following their whistleblowing activities, Seraphin and O'Doyle were fired from their jobs and subject to a criminal investigation, suggesting retaliation by the government. Yet, When X wanted to transparently disclose the government's subpoena to the public, it could not do so because the government had obtained a gag order. X challenged the gag order in court, arguing that it violated federal statutes and the First Amendment. The DC Circuit Court of Appeals has now vindicted X's challenge, ruling that the gag order exceeded the government's authority. X welcomes the ruling, which will help ensure transparency and accountability in the U.S. government's efforts to investigate its citizens. So that concludes the quick Web3 headlines. Lots going on there. Keegan, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if we can get transparency on anything, like, I think that's always good. You know, I didn't catch that one in my timeline, but I'm glad that you're bringing it to the forefront for people to see.
Yes, absolutely. Free speech is important, and yeah, you don't want the government retaliating if you're just sharing some things that are not great that's going on. So, yeah, congratulations to X and being able to get that to protect its citizens. So, love that. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, so here's what's next, guys. Let me share the screen if I get it back up. All right, I don't know if this is going to populate, but you guys are going to recognize this once it does populate. So now we're in the layer called the trending meme. So over the past few days, you may have seen something go viral across all social media platforms where it happened at a Coldplay concert. And these two employees, one was the CEO of the company Astronomer, and one was head of HR, exposed for having an affair. And you best believe Web3 took advantage of that to help boost their engagement. So here we go. We have Curtis, one of the IPs from the Bored Ape Yacht Club, make a fun little illustration here. Curtis says, I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps, personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. And it's this little, you know, this is like what it looked like at the Coldplay concert. And they're showing that Curtis is having an affair with Pengu, with the pudgy penguin. Oh my gosh. Let's check out another one that ApeCoin did. I thought this one was hilarious. I was laughing my ass off with this one. Coldplay will not be at Ape Fest. Oh my God, let's pull this up.
Oh, look at these two. All right. Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You okay? Yeah. Oh, look at these two.
Oh my God.
All right.
Love AI. I love what people are doing with AI because that's hilarious. And besides the ape community, we also had the Doodles. Haven't heard from the Doodles in a while on my timeline, but we had the Doodles popping up saying nobody said it was easy. And they got their own little illustration with their IP. And then, of course, another favorite, because I thought of this when I saw, you know, the display at the Coldplay. I was like, that looks like a Kagami. And look it, we had Super Top Secret said 10KTF, check your Kagami. And they put the CEO and head of HR there. And I thought that was brilliant because I wasn't the only one who thought it looked like a Kagami. And then another brand, Web2 and Web3, the soda brand Jarritos. Jarritos says, the only Coldplay we were involved in this week, grabbing a cold Jarritos from the fridge and minding our business. So they took that opportunity to market their soda. And then this one was a little bit unexpected from Rarible, you know, a site where you can go buy and collect NFTs. They said breaking, former Astronomer CEO Andy Bryan has joined Rarible as an NFT vibe creator. And you can see the engagement is working. 238 comments, 87 retweets, 1.3 thousand likes, and 68 bookmarks. So congrats to all of the Web3 brands who saw an opportunity to get some engagement. And then lastly, someone made a fun little app, vibe coding, using AI. They said, I vibe coded a little game called Coldplay Canoodlers. You're the camera operator and you have to find the CEO and HR lady canoodling. 10 points every time you find them. And then there's a link. And look how much engagement that got, and people playing, and just hilarious. Also plays Coldplay music. You just never know, okay? Using AI, taking advantage of trending news, you can farm engagement there. Keegan, any thoughts on that? Did you farm engagement? Did you retweet, make any GIFs, use AI?
No, I think this got like a lot of attention, but I mean, you never know what does, I guess, on the internet now. But I think I saw somebody like tweet in response, oh, you didn't have to react the way you did, and then it wouldn't have gotten the attention, which might be true, but I mean, you never know. So like, yeah, either way, like look at how much of a domino effect it created, and then I'm sure there was meme coins that went into it, and people were throwing around money on there as well. So you know what? Sometimes attention is good, and I guess maybe for not both of them, but you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and we didn't even talk about the meme coins. I speculated. I could only imagine there was meme coins, but I was like, I'm not gonna go in those trenches. I'm probably gonna lose money. So yeah, didn't even bother. But something else to pay attention to, something on the more positive side, is the NFTs. Okay, this is the NFT alpha layer, and we had this tweet coming from CEO Garga from the Bored Ape Yacht Club saying this, okay, about NFTs. He says, the world isn't ready for NFT treasury companies, but they are coming anyway. That's a pretty big statement. And just to kind of back that up, we've got some other tweets here, okay? So this tweet is coming from a Bored Ape member, and they're saying, nah, wait a minute. GameSquare announced a NFT treasury strategy to go with their current ETH one. They're starting with 10 millions and intend to scale 10 times within a year. Imagine Sailor for BTC and Lee for ETH, except here books are thin as F. If this takes foot, I don't think you understand what happens when that kind of liquidity meets this kind of liquidity, okay? So that kind of backs up what Garga's saying about NFTs here, treasury companies. And here's some more evidence, okay, guys, about NFTs. Because if you thought NFTs were dead, they're not, okay? Because just in total NFT market cap surpasses, what is this? 100,000 million billion, $6 billion, $6 billion. And what are the two IPs that are shown? The CryptoPunks and the Bored Apes. Probably gonna add Pengu to that too. And then speaking of the CryptoPunks, there was a large sweep, okay? So OSF, who we know, founder of Rekt, and Rekt Guy, says many will look back on this famous punk sweep of 2025 and wish they took more risk in their crypto portfolio. I mean, just look at this. Look how much money is flowing through these NFT markets. And it wasn't just CryptoPunks, guys. We also had the Chrome squigglies, okay? So JD Wolf says, I think this is the most spectacular CryptoPunk sweep we've seen since 2022, maybe even 2021. 76 punks were acquired within 5 hours for approximately $13.5 million. Over 35 squiggles were also acquired during the same period. So someone out there with these big bags might be buying this up for their treasury. And even if it's not their treasury, it's their personal collection. And man, these are some whales with some heavy bags. I wish I had money to do that. Maybe one day I'll hit it big. Maybe I'll be Pengu. Pengu, take me there, please. And speaking of Pengu, from CoinGecko, again, Pudgy Penguins is now the second highest NFT by market cap. Above them is CryptoPunks. We saw this. We've been telling you. And then lastly in the NFT news, is that's not convincing enough for you. Here's some more headlines about NFTs. And it's from Now Media. NFTs are showing major signs of life again. CryptoPunks jumped 16% overnight, with a single whale dropping over $8 million to sweep 45 pieces. Bored Ape Yacht Club jumped more than 21% after Crypto Garga posted about NFT treasury companies. Pudgy Penguins surged 15% as 100 new holders piled in. Overall, NFT market cap rose 29.3% above $6.9 billion, with daily sales volume tripling to $38 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. The rally is being fueled by a broader crypto resurgence. ETH is pushing toward 4K, ding, 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 like what Keegan and I said, and renewed risk appetite. But it's more than just vibes. There are rumors of NFT treasury vehicles on the horizon, prompting high conviction collectors to re-enter legacy collections before institutional capital does. This isn't a new mint meta, it's a flight to quality. And for the first time in a long time, blue chip NFTs are leading the charge. Are we so back? Baby, baby. I don't know, Keegan. Are we back? You're muted.
I think we're back at this point. I think that like it's just it feels so like it's hard to believe it because in 2021 I was like, well, some of the stuff was just really hard to like wrap your mind around. But if it's gonna be like that again, and even in a different flavor, let's say, because NFT treasuries, all-time high Bitcoin, Pengu is now here that was not around in 2021. You have leaders that are out in the forefront, like Luca, like OSF, like Garga, like, you know, Figgy's out there. Like, there's different variables in the equation that are at play. So I'm trying to position myself well with what I have, which is not a lot, but full disclosure, like, not financial advice. I am holding REC token. I'm a big fan of it. I think there's a lot of like room to grow there. You know, I think we're in for some surprises. I think each week we're going to see big things happen from now until the end of the year. I'm not a crypto expert by any means, but after doing, let's say, recon for all these years and seeing patterns and seeing who's who and who's pretend and who can pretend to talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk, like you can see now, like who's in it for the long haul for the right reasons, because it's a slow and steady growth. It's not just like, all right, and then no, it's like it has to be.
It's slow and steady for now, because then this thing is just going to skyrocket, and we don't know if it's going to come back to like this level, right? Like it may just stay at a new all-time high overall for NFTs.
I just meant from like the years past, from 2021 up until now. Like going forward, like I think things could get bananas, as they say. Like I would suspect, and I think like if we look back, and again, this is me spending all my free time in Web3 and crypto now for the past few years. I work full-time as a teacher in San Diego Unified School District. And so this isn't my main thing, but a lot of my free time is dedicated to reading, exploring, participating where I can. And I can see like there's different stuff happening. We talked about the cards, the physical cards. Like there's different players at play. There's different variables at play. There's different rules that we now are having for the game. So I think the game is going to change. And I think that if there's going to be new norms, like Bitcoin price 4 years ago was not what it is now. Like that's like one like cornerstone. And it's
sheesh. I mean, just imagine like if you were in that era where you could even see when Bitcoin was $2,000, like let alone like when it was just a few hundred or a couple dollars, right? Like even if you could like have like foresight and be like, oh, this $2,000 is going to jump to $123,000. Like, come on. I feel like we've seen it already with Bitcoin. We're watching it happen with Ethereum. That's a little bit slower, but now with NFTs, right? And it's just like, if stocks is not for you, if other assets, if maybe buying a home doesn't seem like it's in your future, like what is something that you can get here and now, and it's like easier entry than like those things? It's digital assets, whether it is crypto, NFTs, or something else that we see along. Either way, it's here to stay. And I don't know, keep saying like the same phrases. The writing is on the wall.
Yeah, like I could see now the adoption of it being more, because it's going to be more, there's more like guidance on it. I could see more businesses, companies, brands, small businesses willing, and these are maybe groups that were not participating in 2021. I could see them now saying, okay, now in 2025, let's go ahead and explore this avenue. Like, let's go ahead and make a club membership for, let's say, for example, here locally in San Diego, North Park Pizza, or like Woodstock's Pizza. Like, I could see local places starting to explore club membership, the loyalty rewards programs on the crypto level with NFTs.
Totally.
Like, I could see that being more friendly. And so at the same time, though, it's like, all right, it's still going to be newer. Like, because you mentioned something that was making me think that I didn't really think too much about earlier, is that you mentioned, and I saw the tweet too, like where it's like, oh, JP Morgan's going to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum, like loan backed stuff. Like, okay, if you think about that, this is connecting the dots. Easier said than done. That's not going to be an overnight thing. But again, the tone and how it, like the optics, that's big. I admit that. But for it to actually be implemented, built out, and executed, different story. Because you have the individuals that work in the bank and in the credit unions that have no experience, that have no field testing, no repetitions in blockchain, crypto, Web3. So they're going to be trying to like teach or connect dots for their clients, the people that are putting money there, when they themselves are not educated. So who's going to be in charge of rolling out that program at the program managers meeting? Who's going to be in charge of like educating all of those individuals? So the whole
Crypto
like,
advisors.
yeah, I mean, it's going to like, it's a lot of work though. It's a lot of work to do it right. And I just really hope and pray that like there's good people that are going to help steer those conversations, and not just be like people that are going to like take advantage of situations or just have the wrong people leading that. So I think that like,
I don't think so. I mean, we have organizations like Stand with Crypto, and the people that are here right now. I mean, you and I, others, some KOLs. I mean, obviously not every KOL is going to be the best, but I think we have enough. We have enough people who have been here even prior to 2021, right? The 2016 class, the 2010 class. I mean, I think we were already seeing positive movement in the right direction, especially like we mentioned, the anti-CBDC, the Clarity, the Genius Act. So I think we will see positive momentum, moving forward once these bigger institutions or these local places, like you said, pizza places, or will we see the Odyssey from Starbucks, that Odyssey loyalty rewards program come back? They had put it on hold and it was a great pilot. It showed that it worked, and they can use that now and say, hey, it's time to revive it, bring it back. So I agree with you there. I think, we're in the early stages, but why wait when it gets super hyped and just skyrockets, when you can kind of get some exposure to it now? Maybe, look at some of the blue chip projects. We've talked about them already. If you can afford a CryptoPunk, Pudgy Penguin, Bored Ape, but here's some alpha for you guys, okay? If those seem a little bit out of your price range right now and you're like, geez, all right, I feel like I need to get into NFTs and get some exposure there. Well, here's some lower entry points, okay? So we got VeeFriends. I think I'm going to talk about VeeFriends a lot more. I know, Keegan, you do a lot on your 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays. So go tune in to his show because he talks a lot about VeeFriends. But VeeFriends has been kind of operating underground, if you will. I mentioned Gary Vee. He's the founder, CEO who runs VeeFriends. He's a pretty big entrepreneur who knows what he's doing. But here's some new stuff, right? Let's end the week with a bang, VeeFriends says. It's time to unveil the full details of VeeFriends at the NSCC show. Okay, that's the National Sports Coalition Convention 2025. I think that usually takes place in October, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, here it says the 45th National is July 30th to August 3rd. Oh, so that's literally next week. Next week. That's right, because it usually aligns with Comic-Con. That's right. A new NSCC VIP exclusive super sticker collection and Topps. Okay, if you didn't know, but VeeFriends has partnered with Topps, one of the largest collector cards out there companies, for a Chrome 2025 Sapphire Edition, and how you could get a box for a crazy price. So there is a whole thread. So here is the collaboration they did with Topps, and these are some of the VeeFriends character. This is one of their top characters, which is the very, very, very lucky black cat, and this is the empathy elephant, which are these characters that VeeFriends are based off of soft skills that Gary Vee really says is not paid enough attention to when it comes to entrepreneur and leadership. And so it has a really good message. And then here's the VIP exclusive super sticker collection. So if you're not looking at cards, Gary Vee is starting to go in on stickers. And I remember as a little child, as a little girl, I love stickers. I am still holding on to, like, I have a major Hello Kitty collection of stickers, Looney Tunes, like old IP from when I was growing up. So I think VeeFriends is a little underrated because we can have a whole episode on its own talking about all of the different collaborations Gary Vee has had. But rather than me just going on and on about it, I'd love to give you the floor, Keegan, because I know you have some insight on VeeFriends and what you think about what they're doing.
Yeah, I think the card game is just underrated, and I've been starting to pay more attention to it just because I can see kind of like how the dots are being connected when it comes to the brand and building the IP and building like a much more like longer game for like what the characters are about, what the storyline's about, really building those connections with the people. And so, you know, they've done comics now. They started the comics just not too long ago, which I have some. They released the cards from Topps Chrome. They have stickers now. Like it's just like and then when you also reference the TCG trading card game, like we were just talking to Emieli up at the event, and she was telling us some of the numbers, which I guess I kind of already knew, but maybe I forgot. Like when it comes to that kind of stuff, like you guys can, and you can Google it, like look up Pokemon, look at Magic the Gathering. Like these are billion-dollar industries for cards. Like, so they're no joke, right? Now, it just so happens that like with VeeFriends, it's much more public facing with leadership and with the team to be out there and like sharing it and like getting it out there for the people to see on platforms like Whatnot, at the National Card event. You know, I think it's something special, and I think that, you know, in a few years people will look back and be like, damn, I remember when NFTs with VeeFriends was kind of like around on the timeline, but I didn't look at it. And I think that like stuff like that, like the cards, like these Topps Chromes, like I got a box, like, so these were, as a VeeFriends Series 1 holder, it's not showing up for some reason. There it is. As a VeeFriends Series 1 holder, you were able to buy one of these boxes for $99. And so now, these are the Topps Chrome cards. So there's 18 packs, and there's 4 cards per pack. And so I bought this for $99, only because I had a Series 1. And you can go into eBay, and I just went and checked right now. Like, and it's gone up every month since these have come out. The last one that was sold was on July 21st for $712. July 20th, $717.75. July 20th, $750. July 20th, $750. Like, people are buying these things. Like, I haven't even opened this up yet, but like, just to give you context, that's a pretty big X like up when it comes to like a flip or trying to make money. And you know, it's just something to pay attention to. And maybe it's not your forte. Maybe you're like, Keegan, I don't care about cars, whatever. I'm not about that. That's not DJing enough for me. That's fair. And I think that right there is the point, right? It's like the DJs are going to be here. The crypto Twitter people are going to be here. The people on YouTube, the people on Abstract, the people on X, these are crypto native individuals that like to play in that area. But the people that aren't playing in this area, like, they need to be brought in somehow to explore, to like ask questions, to have curiosity.
Right. I think what VeeFriends, what Gary Vee and VeeFriends is doing is exactly what Pudgy Penguins is doing, but VeeFriends is actually ahead of that. And as far as how many collaborations they have, like I said, we can take a whole episode talking about all the different collaborations Gary Vee has done, and maybe we'll try and go and take a deeper dive into that layer with VeeFriends and Gary Vee in one of these episodes, because I think we need to start talking about it, because Pudgy Penguins is getting out of people's financial brackets to afford. So is Bored Apes, you know, and so now we need to start looking at these other really great IPs and amazing founders and help you guys start getting in who like need a lower barrier, you know, to come in. I would say go take a look at VeeFriends. It's not financial advice, but if you're here like already looking and exploring, well, what are some NFTs I can go and collect? Go take a look at VeeFriends. And I was showing it here. I was looking at their OpenSea to see what their floor is compared to Pudgy Penguins, right? We looked at Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins is at 16.3 ETH, I think we said, around there, 16 something. But VeeFriends, I mean, still a little pricey, but like I said, they're pretty solid with Gary Vee leading the charge. You have the lowest, the floor right now is $6,407.37 for one, okay? And not enough people talk about VeeFriends, and it's that high already. I mean, low in comparison to Pudgy and other NFTs, right? But still low enough for others. Oh my God. Did someone just go buy one? The one I was looking, oh no, it wasn't you on this. I was like, what the heck? Someone just bought it off the floor? But there you have it. Go check out VeeFriends, because I think people are going to start getting louder. I think I'm going to start getting louder. I used to hold one of these Series 1s. There is also Series 2, which I hold, but I sold my VeeFriends one, and I'm kind of regretting it now because this is worth, like 2 ETH, a little over 2 ETH. So it's a good IP to look into, and lots of stuff they're doing. And all right. Let's take a look at this next tweet. Something else to look into, right? Something else that's still kind of underground in comparison to all of the hype that everything else is getting. But Somnia, we've talked a little bit on Somnia on the show. But here's Paul Thomas, one of the co-founders, saying, introducing Somniaps, our new social tokens given to influential voices in the Somnia ecosystem. We created this to have a broader way to incentivize the yappers. We will use it to create programs around specific ecosystem projects and topics. Somniaps unlock access to rewards and ecosystem perks. We have a lot of fun plans here. More dropping soon. Keep an eye out on the timeline on Friday. So if you're looking for a blockchain that has great creators and people leading the charge, again, I think Paul and Norman Harella are doing great things over on Somnia. And it's still early enough that if you kind of want to be a KOL or an ambassador for a blockchain and get rewarded for that, go check out Somnia. That is, I consider that alpha for you guys, because I don't think enough people have really tapped in to Somnia just yet. But I think it's only going to get louder, just only because they're still in the in the test phase right now. They have a test token, so it's not live yet. It's early enough that you can get in before it's live. So go check out Somnia, in my opinion. Again, never financial advice, just things I'm noticing. And then next up in Alpha Layer, we have Otherside. Okay, here's some updates from Otherside. They say, first, let's take a look at some of the things we've been building, okay? Because they've been building. And one of the things is that they have a vision for the next gen creator tools and Otherside.
To help develop
so they have
the long-term goal is for people to be able to
so you can go build an Otherside. You can kind of see the code working in the background.
Giving you a base deed.
Go check out this video. We don't got time to watch 3 minutes of it, but go check out this thread. And they also said in July, we'll see the launch of Bathroom Blitz. Meet me at the Clubhouse bubble and the rollout of almost 1,000 assets from all 29 other deed biomes to ODK developers. These releases set the stage for Other Deeds and Voyager 2.0 later this year, and the resources system beginning next year. So that's some alpha for you guys, because if you can't afford a Bored Ape, go check out Otherside, the Otherside Deeds. These are the lands, they're digital lands that will be able to build things on, experiences and games, all using AI. You don't have to know code. And so that's coming out. And you can kind of see an example of that with their new game that's coming out called Bathroom Blitz. It's an 8 versus 8 death match in the BAYC bathroom, launching in July. So I suspect it's going to be launching in this week or two. It's built by Command Line using the Otherside development kit, ODK. This is a first look at what external developers have been building. The experience will stay live for a few weeks while we gather feedback, make improvements, and prepare for more concurrent experiences. This activation starts accumulating Voyager XP. Retroactive XP for prior engagement will roll out ahead of launching the persistent state. So this looks freaking awesome. If you've ever played like games like Fortnite, versus shooter kind of game like that, third person, this looks fun as hell. I'm excited for that. And then here we talk about the bubbles, right? So July's Meet Me at the Clubhouse will be in the newly upgraded Bubbles experience, integrated community feedback from previous versions. So they improved capacity from 100 people to 500 people in a single bubble. Deep link integration, allowing bubbles to be streamed to external platforms and users to join directly via link. Hell effing yes. Okay, we like that. And then in August brings us the launch of our second persistent experience, Otherside Outbreak. The experience will stay live for a few weeks, stress testing our live op system and validating multiple concurrent experiences running ahead of the persistent state release. This activation continues accumulating Voyager XP. Really, really cool stuff. I mean, I can go on and on. This is a long thread, but they're doing a lot. Okay, guys. So if VFriends is maybe something to look at, if you can't afford a Pudgy or BOAC, right, go take a look at Otherside Deeds, I would say, in my opinion. VFriends, Otherside Deeds, looks cool as hell. And then lastly, I'm going to say go take a look at Wrecked Guy. It's another great NFT to go collect and may go up because they're doing some great stuff. So we know that Rec Drinks had partnered with 7-Eleven a few weeks ago. They had pop-up shop. Well, guess what? They're partnering now with Binance. So they are launching Liquid Gold, which is the official collab drink between Binance US and Rec Drinks, okay? So here are some details if you're interested. Each case of Liquid Gold you snag will earn you Wrecked Drink points. Points unlock only if your Binance US account is verified and in a supported US region. There's the link. When purchasing Liquid Gold, you need to enter a valid Binance US user ID at checkout. Make sure your Binance US account is registered and fully verified before the collab is live, okay? Don't wait. Don't wait. Do it now. Not sure where to find your user ID? Find it here. So love that they're giving education. There's OSF saying Wrecked World denomination, and their coin is at 6 cents. So a little higher than Pudgy's. Pengu. And so here's the cool NFT collab that they did. Here's some of the artwork. So this is kind of like what their collection kind of looks like, these neon animated collections. So cool stuff, cool IP. Let's bring it over to Keegan. What do you think? Would you go, if you had the liquidity to do so, would you go and buy any of these NFTs, VFriends, Other Deeds, Rec Drinks? Would you say those are good alternatives if you can't afford something like a Pudgy Penguin or a Bored Ape?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things to think about, and I don't know, it just depends on the individual, but it's like, it's whatever you're trying to do, right? It's like if you want to like actually build and create, Otherside Deed is probably what you're gonna want to explore, because there's ape chain that's involved, and there's a lot of different variables when it comes to creating and like having the freedom to like mold it the way you want. If you're talking about VeeFriends, you don't own the IP. Gary Vee does. That's why he's building the cards out the way he is. That's why he's doing his collaborations the way he is, because he's having full ownership to do what he wants with that intellectual property. If you're talking about Pudgy Penguin, I think that's one of the unique things of why they're valued the way they are, is because you get to have the IP rights to your Pudgy Penguin. And on top of it, they've built these pathways for the vehicles to help elevate your IP within the ecosystem. Now, that's not to say you can't do that with, there's others like Bored Apes. You do the same thing. CryptoPunks, if you're the holder of the original, same thing. Like, but because they're providing the path for it, in my opinion, with Pudgy Penguins, I think that's what's very unique, that they're actually able to utilize the IP in the way that they are. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in everything that Rekt is doing, because I think the difference there is that you have leadership that is very crypto native. They're in it all the time. On top of it, they're an artist. They have credibility. They are putting themselves out there. Like, Binance changed their PFP. I don't think you pointed it out, but they changed their PFP to the Rekt guy. Just like you touched on last week with Pudgy Penguin, had their PFP changed with all these other brands. Same thing with them. So Binance is a big player. Like, they may not be as big here in the US as in Asia, but they are slowly but surely making moves. Like, I'm going to sign up for that, because when you buy those Rekt drinks through them, because you have to sign up, I guess is what it is, and you can order the drinks and you get drink points, but then those translate into Rekt tokens. And so the way I'm looking at it, like, and again, I've been kind of like following this pretty heavily as of late. Like, it's slowly just going up, and you guys can do your own research. It's not financial advice. This is just what I'm seeing and what I'm kind of like noticing. The market cap for the Rekt token is 200. Well, it's 265 million now. I guess it went up again. It was 250 the other day. But when these things move, and this is what I've gathered over the past few weeks, listening to people that they know the game more than I do. So I'm gonna listen to people that I feel know more than me, and I'm gonna like trust them, as long as I feel like they know what they're talking about. So gathering my information, gathering what I'm seeing, like when some of these tokens will move, they're going to move fast, and they're going to move like a lot, and you'll see life-changing money. It happened with a number of people that we knew in 2021. They got an NFT. They were able to flip it. Like, they bought it for 200 and then they sold it for thousands upon thousands. Like, those stories happened in 21. I wouldn't be surprised if you're positioned well, if we hear more stories like that again. And the fact of the matter is, like, there's not a ton of ETH meme coins that have like accolades where they have the traction that some of them do. Like, Pepe is one, Doge is one, Pengu is one. Like, Rekt is in the top 5 right now. So if ETH starts to move, you don't think the alts like these are going to start to move? You're going to look back and remember, like, when, in my opinion, I'm not messing around this time. And again, I don't have a lot of money to throw around, but I'm just trying to like position myself now, because it's like, well, when all the attention is somewhere, guess what? You're not going to be able to get that Bored Ape because it's 20 ETH. When all the attention is on Pudgy Penguins, like it is every week, you're not going to be able to get that for 8 ETH. When when everybody's looking at VeeFriends, when it's 5 ETH, like, you're not going to be able to get things when all the eyes and ears are there. But all the eyes and ears are there only because the dots are connected fully for you. If you're not taking the time to do your own research and connect the dots on your own and see some of the variables and the facts, like, that's an advantage, a hedge that you can have to see, oh, okay, these numbers aren't adding up. This is an arbitrage opportunity. Maybe I should like position myself to get into this because I think there's a lot of upside. So again, everybody's going to do what they want to do, and everybody has a certain allocated amount of time, certain allocated amount of money. But I think there's going to be some big things happening here every week now, and it's not just going to be one. It's going to be different ones. Every week we're going to see stuff.
Well, speaking of time, we are coming up on 2 hours of this show. But I think everything we've shared has been worth it. And hopefully you have found some value in it, because like Keaton is saying, we're sharing some things here that where it's early enough, but you can start seeing the momentum and trending where it's just about to like take off and go parabolic, I guess, as folks would say, DJs would say parabolic, where
haven't heard that for a
things go
while.
to the moon, things go to the moon. You know, people are taking profits. You may see people going on vacations. You start seeing signs people are making it big. And so, yeah, if you missed the 2021 cycle with NFTs and even crypto, we're getting around to the second cycle, another cycle, a new cycle here, where things are just going to take off, and super bullish on everything. Everything we've talked up on the show is something that Keegan and I have done heavy research on, whether we hold a little bit ourselves or we just know a lot of the creators and community that they have been strong. And so, you know, we're not talking about things that are pump and dumps or scams. So that's why I said, not financial advice, but if it's something that you're looking into, go take a look at Pudgy Penguins, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then some of the lower hanging, easier, I guess I would say easier to buy, would be the Wrecked Guy, VeeFriends, look at Somnia, right? These are other things that aren't as at the forefront of headlines, but all of it's really, really good stuff. And if you're not convinced with that, well, maybe some IRL events will help you out. You know, go connect with some of the founders and the community for you to get a sense yourself. And so here are some up and coming events that I'll be at. So one of is this Friday, Crypto and Coffee. If you're in San Diego, there is a Crypto and Coffee event out on Luma. And this is an event for connection, collaboration, and caffeine. And it's going to be kind of women focused, but everyone is able to come, everyone. And if you got a friend, a girlfriend, a neighbor, and they're a female, we want more females in the space. Maybe shoot them this invite, the Crypto Coffee event. So I think this is going to be from like 10 to 1 p.m. So it's in the morning. And if that's not really your vibe, then maybe you want to come to Comic-Con, or you can't get into Comic-Con. Pudgy Penguins is having an after party. So I've been accepted. I think Keegan has applied. Hopefully he gets approved for the event. But Pudgy Penguins is going to be at Bait. And from what I know, Bait is a retail store similar to Supreme, where they sell merch and shoes and backpacks and gear. So they're going to be collabing. So we'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll go live there. I'm going to try and make a crypto vlog number 2 to give you guys what's been going on and a recap of all the things. And then if you're in California, out in Idlewild, California, is FWB Fest. That is happening next week on August 1st through 3rd. And this is an event hosted by FWB and Base and a lot of other Web3 sponsors, but they're making it more like a Coachella kind of vibe where you're out in nature and you'll be surrounded by a good environment, good people, artists, and musicians, and also talking about Web3 tech. So if that sounds more of your vibe, check out FWB Fest. And then right after that, August 6th through 10th is Rare Evo. I've got a code for you guys. The code is Red Rug, all in caps. That's REDRUG, and you'll get 10% off your tickets. Keegan and I will be there. We will be live streaming, taking interviews, getting video content. So if you have an event and you need some videographers and some live streamers, hit Keegan and I up. We'd be more than happy to cover your event. And we're also looking for people to interview. So if you got some cool tech, a project, company on the blockchain, and you're going to be at Rare Evo, we would love to come and interview and uplift what you're building. And then lastly, we've got the infamous Ape Fest is happening also out in Vegas. This is an event I saw at the Ape Hotel Rooftop Edition. After the success of Hotel Lobby in Lisbon, we're heading up all the way to the rooftop in Vegas with full strip views. So this is going to be Thursday, October 23rd. So it gives you enough time to plan out your Vegas trip in October, and it's going to be from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Yeah, it's going to be about a 500 max, venue. And it's an open community invite, so you don't have to own a Bored Ape to attend, which I love. So yeah, these are some fun events that Keegan and I will be at, and we hope to see you there. And it's just great to connect with builders, creatives, and just hear more and more what people are seeing, what their insights are, what their opinions are, what they're bearish on, what they're bullish on, what are some things that maybe mistakes they've learned from and they share. There's all different kinds of conversations that happen at these events, and you never know. Maybe you can find a collab if that's something you're looking for, if you're building. So go check it out. Before I close out the show, Keegan, any words about anything we've talked about the show or any of the events we'll be at?
Yeah, I think Comic-Con is going to be a big deal. I mean, it already is in terms of the mainstream. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is some debut of some stuff that maybe that we haven't talked about, that's non-Web3, but then maybe they're going to make some announcement where it's crypto, NFT, digital, collectible, digital. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some group or some project that implements that they announce something like that. Pudgy Penguins is having the event. I think it should be cool. So yeah, I think if we can live stream and kind of share some stuff for the people to see, I think that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to going. We're not actually going to go into the convention unless there's somebody out there that has a ticket.
I feel like maybe we can ask someone to hey, can we borrow your badge? Because I just want to go check out the Pudgy booth. Honestly, I mean, it's cool to see all the other stuff at Comic-Con, but I'm a Web3 head, so I'm I need to go see their booth at the convention,
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. I have a good feeling we might be able.
Yeah. So I mean, if we can get that, that would be really cool. I know that President from VFriends is supposed to be here in town for Comic-Con as well. It's word on the street. So gonna try and meet up with NDK and catch him for a little bit. Maybe we'll get some alpha out of them. But yeah, I think it'll be a good time. I think there's gonna be a lot of stuff there, and we're gonna try and share some of those moments. Are you gonna be vlogging again from your other camera as well?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm gonna try and get some content and share out the crypto vlog number 2 from this week's events.
All right. Yeah. No, I think that's it. I mean, I think we covered a lot of ground, and people want to reach out, hit us up with questions. Those are our handles in the bio right now, and subscribe to Layers with V Dizzle on YouTube. Check out 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays tonight. Not sure what time I'm going to start. Maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock now at this point, depending if we're going to work out and get to the gym. But yeah, check out everything that we're doing. If you can, subscribe, retweet. Check out my personal brand, Ground Game Strong. Showing up, being present, making an impact. And yeah, I think that's it for right now. So
awesome. Well, thank you again, Keegan, for joining on as my guest co-host. I think we've only got you for 1, maybe 2 more episodes. Definitely 1 more. So I'm gonna miss some of your.
It's budgeted for 2.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna miss some of your commentary, but guys, if you're in the chat, you got questions for Keegan, now's a good time to ask him because he's only got 2 more episodes. But I definitely want to say thank you again to Minty Fresh for coming in and supporting, commenting. Thank you to TokenTalk.NFT for reposting the stream. I also see 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays. Thank you, Keegan. And also I see Baby Whale Shark reposted this stream. So appreciate the support so much because we share a lot of valuable information. We spend a lot of time online, and I know not everyone can. So rather than spending 24/7, maybe taking 2 hours of your day to listen to all the alpha we share here and all the insights that we share. But yeah, share this out to your mom, your dad, your friends, your neighbors, your grandparents, everybody, because they need to know what's happening, because adoption is happening, and it's happening quicker now with all of the regulation and law that is helping us to be more clear on what's happening with digital assets. So if you care about your friends and your family and your neighbors, this might be a good show to share with them. So yeah, please go subscribe over on YouTube. You can go look up Layers with V Dizzle and it'll pop up my channel. I really, really appreciate any interaction for liking or commenting, but especially if you can go and subscribe as I try to grow the channel. Really, really, really appreciate it. And besides that, I appreciate our sponsors with 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays and Ground Game Strong. And of course, Red Rug Edutainment, where we do live events and also get into media with live streaming and video content. So definitely reach out to us. Again, if you're looking for any sponsorship opportunities, your company can go down in the ticker below. We can also feature you, do commercials, and do a lot of fun, creative things we can talk about. If that's something you're interested, hit us up. And wow, what another great show. A lot of layers this episode, especially with Pudgy. We went 5 layers deep, but it's just because they're doing good stuff. So we'll catch you again next Tuesday. I think what we'll say, hopefully around 1 p.m. We'll try better to get it to you at 1 p.m. Pacific. And if not, just have notifications on. We appreciate that. All right, we're out of here, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next Tuesday.